using Amazon's Bedrock models as well, which that particular session also attracted a lot more participants and, gained a lot of insights. And we, in fact, even initiated a couple of conversations from that. Um, in our third workshop, we shifted the focus to RAG, and which also actually saw more than participation. I would say a lot of people contributing to completing their output, and we got a lot of results that it became at the end of it all difficult for us as a team to, or for our GenAI experts, it became difficult to finalize who all actually won, because everybody completed the outputs really well. And excited to present the fourth workshop today on creating the personalized AI assistance using AI agents. I hope this session is definitely promising enough and engaging enough and informative enough. And with the continued collaboration that we have had with the AWS team, I hope our GenAI experts try to kind of put in the hands-on learning experiences. And our goal at the end of it all is definitely equip you all, and furthermore reaching to the organizations that you all belong to with the skills and hands-on learning to excel in the respective projects that you are in. And we begin with Gen AI for that, definitely. Um, Definitely at Nuvepro, our goal has always been to promote hands-on learning and provide a certain safe environment for upskilling for enterprises. Um, and as businesses are definitely adopting these AI technologies, the need for us to also uh, initiate conversations about hands-on learning and what we at Nuvepro do has become extremely important for us. Um, and considering that there is a skills gap around 60 to 70%, which is out there, and we need to kind of bridge both. I hope this workshop comes as the good start for all of it, and I hope it prepares you and prepares all the organizations for all the real world Gen AI and otherwise the specific challenges. Um, so thank you again for joining, and I'd like to pass on the speaking patent to Mr. Giridhar LV, who's also the CEO at Nuvepro Technologies. Over to you, Giridhar.
Thank you. Just confirm if you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that was a good overview of our journey until now. As Shupia did mention, this is the fourth in the series of talks which we have been having. And the speciality of what these talks has been the hands-on activities which goes on during the entire session. Um, just to talk a little bit about Nuvepro. Nuvepro is an organization based in Bangalore, and our focus is on encouraging hands-on learning as the mechanism for getting upskilled. Today, I'll just give you a brief overview about Nuvepro. It may be a repeat for some of you who have attended the previous sessions, so just bear with me. I'll quickly go through the presentation about Nuvepro. Nuvepro is an organization which works with customers which are in the ITES space, then upskilling organizations as well as higher education institutions in getting their employees or workforce project or job ready. Right, and some of the challenges which we have heard in getting job ready are that while there is a plethora of information or I would say modes to get conceptual or theoretical content, which could be starting from your textbooks or written material or even YouTube, then any of the MOOC players or even classroom sessions. The avenues to get hands-on is fairly limited. You have to go to a lab or you need to get access to an account by putting in your credit card, etc. So these are a lot of hindrances which are there, and that's what we aim to take out when we work with an organization to provide them a similar like video accessibility, how you would access a video with one click. That is how you would be accessing any of our hands-on environments. And the challenges listed here, not going to all of them, but it is quite important for you to land that new project or a job, because at the end of the day, when you sit for that interview for a new job or a new client project, it'll come down to saying what have you done before. And if you're only talking of certifications or talking in theory about concepts, that may not work out. it'll come down to finally about how much of your activities has been towards hands-on. And moving in that line, what we said is let's come out with the Nuvepro way of doing things. And that's where we introduced this prime methodology where we divide the entire process of upskilling into two phases, prepare and measure. Prepare is where you're learning the concepts on working on lab environments side by side. Then from there, you graduate to working on real world projects. Again, this could be guided steps asking you to, I would say, do certain activities. So in today's session, it will be part guided, where we'll be preparing to on how to write an agent or learning how to write an agent. And then there'll be a measure at the end where you will be given certain activities to do, and that will be accompanied with rewards. So prepare and measure is how we divide the learning into. And also our activities comprise the entire cycle of software development. We go from the build, enhance to the transform phase. This is the life cycle of any software product, and I'm sure it will be the same with GenAI too, where right now you are building new stuff today, you'll be learning how to build an agent. As the models improve and use cases come up, you will be moving further towards enhance and maybe a few years into the future where something LLM plus plus or something else is going to come in. You will be talking about how to move your current agents into something shiny and new later. Right, and in order to encapsulate all of this into a path, we have created this thing called as a skill bundle, which you can understand to be another learning path where considering this focus on hands-on, you have the hands-on lab, which is our sandboxes to go in along with any kind of conceptual or theoretical content. You move on to guided projects and subjective assessments, which are again based on the lab activities. And at the end of it, you will come out with a set of, I would say, a portfolio, which is a proof of skills, which can be demonstrated by you whenever the need may be. Just in again coming on to the GenAI side quickly, we support the different GenAI models, which include both the proprietary as well as the open source models. In today's session, we will be leveraging AWS Bedrock, and through that, you will be going to Claude. So that is how the interface will look like today. And the sandboxes, which I talked about, so Bedrock is something which will be getting used today. We have the ability to spin up others as well. And in terms of skill bundles or learning paths, we went through the following, the top four of them already, or the top three already in the sessions. So we used Amazon Q to we'll see how it can improve developer productivity. Then we built a multimodal chat application. Then there was implementation of RAG in the last session, and today we will be building an AI agent. In the future sessions, we will be looking also at how you can fine tune an existing LLM. So this was a quick overview about what Nuvepro does. Um, in terms of our ability, it goes beyond just the GenAI side. We cover full stack development, cloud, cybersecurity, data, as the other fields. And as looking at the interest in today's session and the previous sessions, I can say that GenAI is a thing which is continuously, I would say, looking at disrupting almost every software field out there, and also getting onto influencing some of the hardware technologies which are prevalent in the market. So in terms of just preparing for this particular session, I thought let me also build an agent. So I did build an agent a couple of days back. It did involve a lot of installs and configurations. Took me almost like half a day to get it done. But at the end of the day, I had an agent which could take as an input a city and give me information about all places to visit, what's the weather, etc., and also about how much an Uber drive costs if I go from place A to place B that city. Right, so all of this happened. But today we are going to help you build an agent along with us. And you will not be taking so much time to build it because today we have automated a lot of this stuff for you. And you'll be taking, following the guidance of our GenAI expert, Tanushri, when she comes in. And with her help, I hope you will all be able to build that agent today. and take the learnings with you at the end of the session and look at implementing that in your work. So, and also finally, thanks to AWS for supporting us through this entire journey. Amit is here, and Shupya, back to you. You can introduce Amit and take it from here.
Yes, thank you, Giridhar. Before I move to Amit, I think I definitely do want to thank the Amazon team and AWS team for kind of enabling us with the workshop. We have a couple of questions. I see hand raise as well. I'll quickly take us through Amit's session, and then we'll take up with the questions and we'll move towards the hands-on. Just allow me a couple of minutes to kind of take up. Amit Garola is the partner center at Amazon. He has also been a speaker for the last three workshops with us. And thank you, Amit, for joining today. Over to you, Amit.
Uh, hi, Shipya. Let me just share my screen. Sorry, I have a bad throat, so just give me a second. So, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, hi everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Amit Garola. I am a senior partner solution architect at AWS, and today I'm going to talk about agents for Amazon Bedrock. So I would also like to thank the Nuvepro team for inviting me for this session. This is the fourth session I'm taking, and today's topic is agents for Amazon Bedrock. So what exactly are agents for Amazon Bedrock? What agents do is they enable GenAI applications to execute multi-step business tasks. So when you have multi-step business tasks, that is where agents for Amazon Bedrock come into picture. They use the power of large language models to prompt and respond using natural language. They break down and orchestrate tasks. They complete tasks by dynamically invoking APIs. And then security and privacy of the data is ensured by the agents for Bedrock. And finally, they use something called as a chain of thought, trace and underlying agent prompts. Okay. So agents for Bedrock is the service that we use on AWS platform to build agents. So what are the benefits? So first of all, the agents for Bedrock automate the orchestration of multi-step tasks. If your task involves multiple steps, then you can automate the orchestration of these multi-step tasks. Secondly, you can simplify building and deploying AI assistants. Right? So the agents for Bedrock, what it tries to do is it will simplify the process for deploying AI agents. Sorry. Third is it will provide secure access to enterprise data and APIs. Finally, it will also choose you what implementation language you want to use. And finally, it's some fully managed infrastructure that is available on the AWS cloud. So how the orchestration basic flow works like. So if you have a big task, right? For example, let's say you are a HR, you are an employee in your organization and you want to apply for leave. Now, to apply for leave, there are certain steps, right? First of all, you need to know what is your leave balance. Okay. Once you know your leave balance, then you want to know what is the policy for applying for leave. And third step would be that you actually go into the system and apply for leave. So if I consider this big task and break it down into smaller tasks, that is called as so it will require smaller steps that need to be executed. So using agents for Bedrock, you can decompose this big task into smaller steps. And for example, let's say you want to check how much of leave balance you have, right? Then the agent will connect to your database for where the leaves are maintained and will tell you, okay, you have so many leaves available. Then you want to know what is the policy for applying for leave, right? So then it will go to the HR policy portal or wherever the documents are, and it will extract the information out and will tell you that this is the policy. And finally you want to apply for leave, right? So it will automate that process. So automate if your leave request conforms with the policy and you have sufficient balance, it will automatically create a leave request for you, right? So using the agent for Bedrock, we have broken down this bigger step into smaller smaller tasks or smaller tasks, and then the agent can handle each one of those tasks. Okay. Till finally the outcome is achieved, which is you have applied for leave conforming to the company's policy, and also you have sufficient leave balance that can be used for applying for leave. So again, taken an example of a HR use case. Even if you want to go into corporate and you want to build a agent for, let's say, insurance, managing insurance claims, right? The steps are: first, we create an agent. So using the Bedrock console or the SDK, you can create an agent and provide some description. So the description could be something like this: you are an office agent designed to help manage insurance claims. So you are providing instructions to the agent saying that this is the task that you are expected to. Okay. Then what we do is we add action groups. Okay. So these action groups could be something like a API schema. What kind of APIs are available to take actions? Okay. So for example, to get the open claims, right? So there is a get open claims API, or compile docs not submitted, or send reminders. It could be small APIs that are taking care of certain tasks. Okay. And then finally, sorry, my bad. Then you add your data sources. So their data sources could be policy details, a policy database, a claims database, and so on. And once you have done all this, you can interact with the agent. You can use natural language query to tell the agent to perform a task. For example, you can say that, okay, send a reminder to all the accounts who have not provided the complete documents for their claim to be processed. Okay, so the agent will automatically go look up all the open claims, see which of these claims have not submitted their documents, and automatically it will send the reminder to all these people. Okay. So now let us look at the basics of an agent. Okay. So a user will come and tell the agent, do this task for me. So the agent has instructions saying you are an agent that does a specific task. For example, you are an agent that helps employees understand HR policies, or you are an agent that helps set up meeting requests and so on. Okay. So those are the kind of you can create an agent which can take certain actions and has access to something called as knowledge bases. Knowledge bases is something we covered in our previous session when we talked about RAG and all those kind of terminologies as well. Okay. Now let's say you are creating a agent which will summarize meetings and send results, right? So it takes the recordings or the transcript from the Teams meeting or whatever meeting tool you are using, and it will send the results saying which all actions have been taken by what persons, right? So there could be something like meeting actions, which is, let's say, list the meeting on what date, what was the meeting ID, what was the subject of the meeting, and also getting action items from the meetings. So the agent will be able to pull out action items from the meeting. Okay. And there could be utility actions. So utility actions could be send emails or get the email addresses of the team members who are present for that particular meeting. Okay. So now what you do is, now once the agent has all this information and it knows what actions it needs to take for a specific command, it will start interacting with the user. So the user will come and say, okay, list the action items from my morning meeting. So the agent will tell the user that, okay, these are the action items 1, 2, 3, and 4 based on the actions that we have defined over here. Okay. Then it will then you the user will say, okay, send all these action items to my team meeting from the morning meeting. So it will send it out. So you see there are the largest step of finding out the biggest step of finding out the action items from the meetings and sending out email, that has been broken down into two smaller tasks. One is specific to the meeting, which is getting the action items, and second is a utility action, which is sending emails. So if you look at the agents, they use actions to get the work done. Okay. So actions are primarily nothing but API calls, which are used to get specific work done. Okay. Now again, for example, and what they also do is actions are are just API calls or certain methods to take a specific action. You also need information to take that action, right? So that action is stored in, so this information is stored in knowledge bases, and the agent has access to the knowledge base. Okay, so for example, your HR department has a knowledge base of all the HR policies that are applicable to employees. And let's say one of the policies is a vacation policy. Okay, saying how people can take leaves and how people can apply for vacations. Okay, so let's say a user comes with a question saying, if I switch to full part-time from a full-time job, will I still get my vacation days? So then what the agent does is goes to this knowledge base for this vacation policy and will reply saying that, okay, part-time staff are not eligible for vacation days. Okay, so essentially instead of the employee going through the entire document, which could run into tens or hundreds of pages, you have built an agent which can help your employees understand what is the policy. Instead of going through a lot of documentation, now you can create an agent which will be able to help your employees. Okay, and the other thing is also that the HR department also works only from 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, whatever the time period is. Employee may have question during night time also, right? So where do they go? So they can come to an agent. The agent will be able to help them out with most of the tasks that are there. Okay, similar case, for example, now I have a knowledge base for vacation policy, and I also have a action for saying requesting for a vacation, which means I am putting a leave request in my system. Okay, so what the user will come and ask is, let's say, how many vacation days do I have in a year? So the agent will look up the vacation policy and say that, okay, because you are a full-timer employee with us, you already have a 3-year tenure with us, you get 15 days of leave per year. Now the employee says that, okay, I'd like to take off from December 8th to 15th. So the agent will say, okay, the leave is approved and you have 8 more days available. So essentially, if you look at it, right, it has a knowledge base where the vacation policy is maintained. It also has access to a database through a actions API call where it can access the balance for the employee as well as create a leave request. Okay. So again, yeah, this is fine. Okay, so essentially what agents do is agents build on top of existing enterprise resources. These resources could be policy documents, the resources could be a vacation database, and any actions on the vacation database is exposed through a vacation microservice. Okay, and then there could be a leave of absence database where the historical or the past leaves of the employee are maintained. Okay, so the agent could search the HR policy. It will go into the HR knowledge base, which is connected to these policy docs. It can take an action on getting the vacation balance. So again, there could be a microservice which gets the employees balances from a vacation database. And it could also request leave of absence, which is basically taking action based on these earlier two steps that were asked for. So first there is a search HR policy, then get vacation balance, and then request leave of absence. So agents, to summarize, are used for executing multi-step tasks. Okay, so a big massive task, like for example, not massive, but a large task which for an employee to apply for leave, checking with the HR policy and the balance that is available, that can be broken down into smaller pieces, and each of them can be handled through a search action or any other action that the agent can do. Okay, so this is the basics on agent. I'm sure you are quite excited now, at least to do a hands-on on how to build your specific agent. And over to you, Shipriya. I'm done with my slides.
Thank you, Amit. Before moving to Tanushri, I think if you had a couple of questions, if you have the questions, please drop it in the chat, and the support team and the team here at Nuvepro will be able to kind of cater you with that. Over to Tanushri. Tanushri is the GenAI expert at Nuvepro, and she'd be taking us through the hands-on workshop today.
Hello everyone. Uh, Please confirm if I'm audible. Yeah. So Hello, everyone. I am Tanushri. Before me introducing myself, I just want to thank Amit for giving such an amazing insights on agents and its working. Uh, as I said, I am Tanushri and I'll be taking over from here. So before we get started with our hands-on session, we'll all just make sure everyone has an access to a skill bundle. So we'll just wait a couple of minutes so that we can start together. So the username for the skill bundle would be your registered email ID and the password will be put in the chat. Yeah.
Yes, we put in the username would be the email ID and password is something that we're putting up in the chat.
Yes. So
Thank you.
once we are ready, please give me a thumbs up so that we can start with our session.
The URL is mentioned in the chat. The login ID would be the registered email ID with which you've registered for the event, and the password as given in the chat. Once you log in, you'll be able to see the dashboard inside. Just let us know once you've logged in and put up a thumbs up. If somebody is not able to log in, please do mention it in the chat and support team would be assisting you with that. Samriddhi, please put in your email ID over here, and I hope you've logged in with the email ID with which you've registered for the event. I request the support team to please check through the chat. Just allow us a couple of minutes and we'll check through. But before we do that, please make sure that you're logging in with the same email ID with which you've registered for the event because we've used the same email ID to get the access for you guys. Niaz, you'll soon be able to access it. Akanksha, the link is shared in the chat itself above. Can you please just confirm if you're able to log in now?
Hello. Samantha, your password has been reset. Can you try again now? Samantha, yeah.
Anil, just allow us a couple of minutes. I think the support team will get back to you. Please try to log in with the same email ID with which you have registered. And Venkata, I request you to please drop in your email ID again in the chat.
Anil, you can try now. Your login is created. Vijay Krishnan, you can try now. Your login is created.
Okay, Tanushree, I'd request you to start with, I think most of the people have got the login, so we can just initiate.
Okay. Okay. So I assume most of you have logged into our skill bundle. So let's just look what we have in our skill bundle, right? So we have 3 sections, one with Amazon Bedrock overview. These are some of the concepts that you have to go through before starting with the hands-on exercise. We have it about agents, and then we have our lab. Amit has beautifully covered Amazon Bedrock overview and its agents. So I'll just emphasize on the React agent, what that is what we are building. So I'll just tell more about it. So React itself stands for reason and action. So your agent would perform different set of actions, as Amit said, based on the query that is made by the user, and also it will be giving you the proper response. So these actions are nothing but the tasks or the API calls or any function definition, and you can we have to define and we have to ask LLM to consider these tools while making a decision and to finally give a final answer. So here you can see first when user queries a question, first it goes to our agent. It will think what kind of action I have to perform with the given set of actions. We will be predefining the actions only, but it will be choosing what kind of action it has to perform. So based on that, it will take an action input and it will get an it will perform that particular action. Maybe that action output will be acting as input to another action as well. So this goes on until you get LLM decides to give the final response. So this is about the React agent. So we will be building a React agent, and also it is nothing but the finance assistant, that is that what we are building. So I'll give more overview on what we are building once we move to that particular section. So I hope I'm clear. Please give me a thumbs up. Okay, sounds good.
I think a couple of you have questions. Because Tanushree is also simultaneously taking this up, I request if you can put up the questions in the chat so the rest of the team can take them up. And Akshita, just allow us a couple of minutes and you'll be able to access.
Okay. So now that you have enough context on what agent we are going to build, so let's get to our hands-on exercise and let's see what we're going to build. So in our lab, what we're going to build is our personalized finance assistant, and this is an React agent. This agent will be capable of retrieving and processing the financial information directly from our finance database. Don't worry, all the database that has to be considered, it is given in the lab. So the finance database, I'll just give overview of what that database is of. So it contains data on various expenses of a company, including research and development, profit, revenue, and marketing. And these are some of the expenses data that are there in our database, and we will be querying it. So this is what we are going to do. So let's just start the guided project. Many of you might have start guided project as a button here. So let's just click on it. Okay, let's start the lab. Let the lab set up. Meanwhile, we'll see what are the instructions that we have to follow inside the lab. So first one, okay, first one, uh, yeah, we have a workflow inside the lab. We'll just go through and see what the steps that we are going to take while building the application. And this is just a high level view of the project. And also we'll install one extension called SQLite Viewer, because we will be able to see the database and its data inside it. And then we have our financial assistant notebook, where we have code and its explanation, and we'll just go through the code line by line. I'll explain it to you. Meanwhile, the explanation will also be written inside the lab as well. You can go through it simultaneously. And we will try out the same code block in our tryout blocks. Also, before running or executing any cells in the lab, please make sure to select the kernel. So this is the particular kernel where you have to select it. Okay, I hope everyone's clear. So lab is getting started and the environment is setting up with libraries and credentials and everything. Since we are using Amazon Bedrock, the credentials also we need to access the Bedrock models. So all of this are setting up, so you don't have to worry about anything, any libraries or any configurations that you have to make. So everything will be provided in the lab. So let it get started.
Tanusha, I'd also request that if we can kind of take a moment before everybody else launches the lab.
Yeah, sure.
If you're not able to launch the lab, please put it up in the chat. We'll wait for 5 minutes more till everybody launches the lab so that, and let us know if you're able to see the skill bundle.
So for me, it's not letting me log in only. It's like hung for the last 5 minutes with that.
Skill bundle is not assigned to me.
Tulsi, can you please share the steps to go to the lab?
Okay, fine. I'll just stop and start again. So I'll start from logging in, okay? Is my voice clear?
Yes,
Yes.
Tulsi.
Yeah. So you can put your credentials here, registered email ID and the password which is put in the chat. So log in. Once you're logged in, you can see the skill bundle that is assigned for you. You can just click on it. And yeah, there you are in our skill bundle content. So these are three sections what we have. And if you want to go to hands-on exercise, so that is what that is where we are now. So let's go through it. And you might have start the guided project button here. So click on it. Just let me know if I'm fast or if I have to repeat any steps or anything. Yeah, and then you can see start the lab button.
Okay, Tanushree, we'll just wait for 2 minutes more. I hope most of the people are able to see. If you're not able to see, probably you're using the email ID, which it's not added with us. This is something that we are able to see. Password and all is already shared. Most of you are asking for password. Please just check it again. And if you have any other login issues, just put it up in the chat. The support team would be able to kind of take up. I think, Karishma, you wanted the password. The password is already shared above. And if you are not able to see any lab assigned, please let us know.
So this install SQLite viewer is printed on the right hand side, right? So is there something we have to do while the lab is starting?
No, no, no. It is something that you have to do once you enter the lab.
Okay.
Yeah. That I'll be showing it. So I'll be showing all the instructions that are there. So we will follow along.
So right now I'm able to see a project in VS Code and some DB and one notebook.
Yes, yes. You're in right place.
Okay, so we have to wait here, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I'll also wait till my lab gets started. So then we can start together.
Tanushri, can you just give a quick overview of what this AI model does before starting the lab?
So what our agent, what we are building, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, as I said, we are building a finance assistant where we will be able to query our finance data that is there in our database. So after making a query, LLM will be taking several steps and actions. So we are going to define that actions, and you'll be able to see the response from the model. So this is what we are going to build it. So let's wait and we'll just start doing it. I hope I'm clear. Or
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So I'll get started with our hands-on exercise, right? So instruction said that we have to go through our workflow, right? So we'll see what and all steps that we are going to consider while building our application. So first it is saying that we have to set up a Bedrock client because we are accessing a model. The LLM that we are using is from Bedrock, Amazon Bedrock. To be specific, we are accessing Anthropic Claude model from the Bedrock. So we have to access the model so that we have to set it in some way so that we can access it easily. And the second one would be we have to mention model parameters. We have to set up model parameters like temperature and maximum tokens that we have to get. So all of this we will be doing it. And then we will define a tools. These tools are nothing but the actions. Actions are tools. And these are the three tools that we are going to define. And LLM will be making decision based on these three tools based on like whenever user make a query. So why do we make it? What do we make it? Everything will be shared while we do the while we do the hands-on exercise. So we have flowchart for that as well. So don't worry. And then the next step would be we provide the clear instructions to the models. So we will define one prompt template on what it has to do, what steps it has to take while analyzing the query from the user. And then we'll set up an agent. Then we will query our agent. And then we have this last exercise. We don't have code or explanation. This is something we will build together. So people who will be able to complete this will be eligible for rewards. So you will have to send the output screenshot in the chat section. I hope I'm clear with the workflow. Please give me a thumbs up.
Can you repeat
Yes.
the last statement?
Last exercise. Yeah. So this is
Tanushree, could you repeat it like once again from the step 1 onwards?
Okay.
Yeah, for better understanding.
Okay, fine. So first we will be setting up the Bedrock client. Since we are using the model from Bedrock, we have to access it, right? So we will have to make some setting up so that we can access it. And also the model that we are using from Bedrock is Anthropic Cloud. And the second one would be we will be defining model parameters like temperature, maximum tokens. These are some of the configurations that we will be making. And then tools. These tools are nothing but the actions where LLM has to decide what action has to be taken place, right? So these are some of the actions that we are going to decide and we are going to give it to the model and it will be choosing from one of these actions for each and every step. So it will be more clear once we do it. So next one, we will be providing the clear instructions to the model. It's nothing but the prompt template. Then, and the next one would be set up an agent. We'll create an agent, then we'll query our agent. And the next exercise is for rest of the steps we have code and its explanation, but for the last one we don't have code or explanation, so we will be doing it together. It's something that we did in our workshop too as well, so we will be doing it together. So people who complete this particular exercise and send output in the chat section will be eligible for rewards. I hope I'm clear.
Yep, thanks, Anantri.
Yeah. So the next one would be we have to install SQLite viewer. So we'll go to this extensions. It's just to see what is there in our database. Yeah, you can see that. Also, we see that very few labs are created already. So please, as this is an hands-on activity, please log into the lab and start the lab so that we can build an agent together. Yeah.
Can you repeat how to log into the lab?
First of all, I think you have a credentials, right? When you go to the link that is there in our chat,
Yeah.
you can put your credentials. Then you can see one course that is allotted for you, GenAI Workshop 4.
Yeah.
You can go to that, and there once you click on that, right, you can find 3 sections. So come to the last sections, that is the hands-on exercise.
Yeah. I've clicked on that. It says mark as done. It says done, but it doesn't launch anything.
And okay, are you not able to see start guided project button on your right? Can somebody put up a screenshot from our team in the chat box?
Tanushree, this is Mahendra. How did you get your SQLite?
You have to install SQLite database viewer. Sorry, SQLite viewer.
Yeah, I missed that option actually because you went too fast bit on that. Sorry.
Okay, I'm so sorry. So go to this extension button, right? Just type of, yeah, then you can see the search. In the search bar, type SQLite viewer. Then you'll be able to see the, yeah, see that particular extension. Click on it.
Okay.
And then here you can see the install button. Since I've already installed, it is showing uninstall. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So this is the
select the language also. Do we have to select the language, which is Python and all that, or we don't?
No, you don't have to do anything. Please install only the SQLite viewer.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So this is our table. Our table is named as financial statements. And then we have several data. We have 2023 data. We have expenses of the company. We have revenue expense. We have revenue. We have profit. We have some of the expenses around the different areas of the company for each month. So we will be querying the information about this particular information to our agent. So this is the agent that we are going to build. I hope everyone's clear on it. So let's please give me a thumbs up so that we can start with our step. Yeah, sounds good.
Hey, this page is not opening for me. It is saying that page we cannot open the page. Like after I start the lab, I'm not able to reach to that page.
Please wait for a minute or two because it will take time to boot the system in the backend as well. So just wait for 2 minutes. If the issue persists, please put the screenshot in the chat section.
Ma'am, I couldn't able to get the extension tab, ma'am.
This is the extension.
Which one?
This is one. This is the one.
So
yeah,
if it's not there, click on settings and then you can see extensions over there.
Yeah, let me check, sir.
Thanks for helping out.
Sir, in settings also I'm having only 3 options: customized notebook layout, toggle breadcrumbs, like that. Only 3 options are there. There is no extensions. Let me check, sir, again.
The settings gear icon.
Ah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, there. When you click on, you see command pilot profiles and then
yes,
extensions.
Sir, it's coming, sir.
Control Shift X. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for helping out. Okay, let's start with our first step, right? What was our first step? We have to set up a client so that we have to access a model from Bedrock. So Bedrock is somewhere we have to access it programmatically, right? So that is the reason we need Boto 3. So that is why we have this library. This library needs to be imported, and then we have to create a client. So inside in the argument, we have to mention what is the service name that we are trying to access. So since we are accessing Bedrock from Amazon Web Service, so we are mentioning Bedrock runtime as a service name. So you have to follow the same name. And the region is something that we have to specify because this is where our particular Amazon Bedrock resource has been created. I hope this is clear. So let's code it together. So first we have to import Boto 3. Using that Boto 3, this Boto 3 is nothing but it helps us to access the AWS service programmatically. So since Bedrock is also one such service from AWS, we are using it with Boto 3 and we are accessing it with Boto 3. I hope I'm clear. So let's code it together. So before you code, right, to your right on the top, you can see select kernel. But I have already selected the kernel. Please select the kernel. Once you click on it, you can select Python environment. Python environment, you will have two options, Python environment and Jupyter environment. Select Python environment. And then select this particular kernel. Everybody is able to select the kernel, right? Please give me a thumbs up.
No. Can you go back and say that again?
Yeah. To your right, top right, you will find select kernel button. For me, it is showing a Python 3.10.12 because it's already selected. So you just have to click on it. Once you click on it, you'll get two options, Python environment and Jupyter environment, I believe. And then select Python environment. So any of select Python environment, and in Python environment, you can select this particular kernel. Yeah. So let's code it together. First, we need Boto 3, right? So we have to import Boto 3 because we have to programmatically access our Bedrock resources because we are using the model from there. So then we can create. So if you can see, if you can't see the code easily, please toggle this explanation part so that you can see it properly. And then you can code it together. So we'll create a Bedrock client called Bedrock. So we will name it as a Bedrock itself so that it is easy for us to remember as well. So we'll create a client. Our service name, we are accessing Bedrock service. So Bedrock service name is Bedrock runtime. And the region that we are going to select is US East 1 because this is where we have created our Bedrock service. Yeah. So let's execute this particular cell. Yeah. First step is done. And as I said, the second step would be LangChain. LangChain is nothing but the framework that is used to build.
Can you go for the coding? Or else it will be better if you are pasting the same code on the chat window.
No, you can refer the code. It is there, right? In the code section, we have code and its explanation. You can see and type it together. I hope I am clear. Yeah. So the second step would be we have to configure the Bedrock LLM. So we are using LangChain for it because LangChain is nothing but the framework which is used to build LLM applications. So what we are doing is we are importing Bedrock and then we have to define the parameters. In this step, we have to define the parameters and we have to define the model, like what we have to tell or define the model, what model that we are using. And also other configurations. That is what we are going to do. I hope I'm clear. So LangChain is nothing but the framework that is used to build GenAI or LLM applications. So for that, we are importing Bedrock. Through LangChain, we are importing Bedrock. You can use it directly, but last 2 sessions, last 2 sessions we had used directly from the Bedrock, but we are using model through we are using Bedrock through LangChain because we are creating agent in LangChain. So that's the reason. That is how it will be compatible. So that's the reason we have to import. We have to use Bedrock through LangChain. Bedrock. So now we have to mention, we have to define a parameter. So we have 2 parameters that are defined, right? One is temperature and one is a max underscore tokens underscore 2 underscore sample. So temperature is set as 0. Temperature is nothing but it affects the randomness in our response. So more the temperature, more will be you'll get more creative answer. But for now, we don't want model to give creative answer because we just want model to answer whatever that we ask based on the knowledge base that we have given. We don't want model to make up answer or be creative in it. So we just want crystal clear straight answer. So that is the reason I'm setting temperature to 0. So maximum temperature that you can set is 1. So it will be very creative. So the next one would be max underscore tokens underscore 2 underscore sample. So this is, I am telling the model to generate at most 2000 tokens. It can be 2000 tokens or less than that. It cannot go more than that. So that is what I am defining. I hope everyone's clear with the configurations.
Tanushree, with tokens, you meant like the length of the characters, right? Like length of the output, right?
Length of the output, yes. The number of the tokens that are there in the output. The tokens is something similar to words. I think 1000 words is equal to 750 tokens. This is vice versa. I'm not clear on it. Yeah. Think of it as this number of words.
It's a character, Tanushree. So
yeah,
1000 character equal to 750 as a token.
Yes. Thanks.
So is it required to give the maximum token?
Yes. Because if you want to control the cost, right, you have to give. Otherwise, model may be able to give very long answer as well. So model has the capability to shorten its answer, but give the clear, give the answer what we need. So it's better to use that maximum tokens. If you don't want, it's fine.
So what is the standard size for the token?
For Claude, for Anthropic Claude, they say in the documentation it is 4000 tokens.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So let's
Can't we go
define.
behind 4000?
You can go, but this is the ideal and this is what it has been suggested.
Got it.
You can test it out.
I think like you might aware like in the last sessions in the I think RAG, right? Like we do have a chunk. So if the character going to be exceed like more than 4000, like it will be going to be converted as chunk. So that will like split it into more than number of chunks.
Yeah.
Got it.
But here we are not converting anything into chunks.
Chunks,
This is not, yeah.
In a RAG, like we are using chunks, but
Yeah.
like React is not a kind of chunks.
Yeah. So, and then we will create an LLM object. So from the Bedrock that we have imported, so inside that we will define model ID because this is, since there are many models that are there in our Bedrock, so model ID is how they distinguish themselves. So the model ID that we are going to use is anthropic.claude-version 2. This is what we are going to use. And we have to pass our client because we are programmatically accessing it. We have created client for a reason, so we have to pass it. And then this particular model parameters. All of these things, 3 things should be passed. So let's do it together. So model parameter, it's nothing but the dictionary.
Can I ask a question related to the chunking? So does that mean, because this is a structured
table that you're trying to query, and therefore we don't need to do chunking? Is that the reason?
Yeah,
I
because
think
last
the
session,
chunk concepts, like, yeah, go ahead,
last
Tanushree. The chunk
session,
concept.
last session we used documents, right? So that's the reason we used chunking, and we are not considering any document here. We are just querying the structured data. We are querying the data.
Okay, thank you.
Tanushree, you are on mute if you are talking.
Oh, sorry. Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Was my response audible before?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So model parameter is nothing but the temperature. Model parameter is nothing but the dictionary that we're going to mention. So temperature is the key. Temperature is the key, and we are setting it to 0.0 because we don't want model to give creative answer. And max tokens to sample 2000. And we'll create an LLM object, and with bedrock class, and we'll pass all of this model ID, anthropic dot lord -v2 client. We will have to pass a client as well. Model quarks, and this key name should be same as what is given. Okay, so I'll execute this. Yeah. Now the setup is done. So now our actual actions, definition of actions will be starting. So as I said, tools are nothing but the actions that we have to define, and model will be able to make a decision based on the defined actions that are there. So how will model get to know what kind of actions it has to perform? All of this will be put in prompt as well. So we will be able to say it in further steps. Let's just see what we are going to do. So suppose when I make a query, so as I said, this is a finance assistant, and I have to make a query on financial data for January 2023. So first, as this is a natural language, right? And it has to convert it in particular month format, because here you can see we don't have anything called any data called January 2023, February 2023. We have it in this particular format. So even if user ask question in English, like normal natural language, they will be using January 2023, February 2023, but model has to choose this action to convert that particular input into this particular format. I hope I am clear with this particular tool. Please give me a thumbs up. Expecting more thumbs ups. Yeah. And you can see. Okay, sorry. So you can see here, if you can zoom, and I don't think you can zoom. I have made a query, right? What if I make a query? What is the financial data for January 2023? So model will think, okay, the input month is not in this particular format. I need to convert it into this particular format, and it will choose this particular action, convert month format, and action input will be given as this particular thing. So this is the first tool that we are going to define. And the second tool, what we are going to define is as I asked financial data, right? So it has to gather. So the next answer would be, sorry, the next action would be, I want to get financial data. So model has to choose this action. After converting this particular January 2023 in 2023 one format, month, year and month format, it has to choose next action without any interference or without any human interference. It has to choose the next action. So it will be choosing get financial data. So it will be getting this particular data from the model. So how will it get? We will have to define a function. So we will have to define what we have to do. Model has to choose that particular action, and it will be getting all of this data. I hope I'm clear with the second tool as well, second action as well. Don't worry, we will go in depth again. Yeah. And then analyze financial data, right? And analyze financial data, right? So once it fetches the data from the table, it has to give in particular format, because user should understand, right, what expense, what area as how much of expense. So that is what we are going to define in this particular analyze financial data action. So in general, model has to choose based on the input given by the user. Model has to choose between these steps, step by step. For every action, it has to choose what kind of tool I have to use, and then it will go on until it gives us the final answer. So this is just a high level overview on what we are doing. So we'll define each and every tool and we'll see what we are doing. So I hope I'm clear.
If you have any questions, I request if you can put it up in the chat so Tanushri or the rest of the team can take it up.
Okay. So first, as I said, we will be defining three tools, right? First, we will define first tool, because when you make a query, right, when what is the financial data for January 2023, it will analyze, okay, this is the month and this is the year. I need to take an action so that I have to convert this particular input into this output format, sorry, in this particular format. So this is what model is going to do in this. So this is what we have to define in this particular tool. Right? So what we are going to do is we have format string. So when user makes a query, right, what is the financial data for January 2023? They can also make a query like what is the financial data for Jan 2023. So we have to handle that case as well. So for this particular formatting, just remember we are going to use in this particular function. So %b, %y is for full abbreviated month and year, and the small b is for short form of that. And whatever the input may be, the output should be this particular format, so that I can easily query the database with this particular input. I hope I'm clear.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's toggle this explanation and we will be trying out. So first, what we are going to do is we are importing date time because we are dealing with date. So in this particular function, we will pass the month string. The month string would be this, January 2023. And input formats we will be defining inside the parameter only. It can be full abbreviated form as well, or it can be of short form as well. So we are dealing with both of it. So we will define the input parameters inside this particular list and the output format. And this output format is something, as I said, whatever the input we have or we give, user give, the output format should be this 2023 and -1 year and month format. So this is what we are going to pass, and whatever the month string that we get, right? So okay, I'll just type out here. So I'll give Jan 2023. So it has to check whether it goes with this or it goes with this. That is why we have for loop. So for past month, we have to check, can we parse this particular Jan 2023 with this particular format? First one would be abbreviated format. So, I mean, long form of the month and the proper month name. Okay. Proper month. One second. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, this is the proper month. It can be of proper month name or it can be of short form. First, we have to check whether it can be parsed in this particular thing. First, it cannot be parsed because it will, this is for the abbreviated form, right? This cannot be, first for loop will not work and it will come to error. It will throw an error. Now it won't throw an error because I have written pass, because it has to continue the function. It has to check whether this short form, it can pass the short form as well. So first it will check whether it is, yeah. I hope you got what I'm telling. Should I have to repeat again?
I have a question. The year is not, as we are talking about it from a user perspective. What if user decides to give year in suppose two digits only? For example, I don't want to say 2023, I say 23. So that means I'm referring to this year. So is this going to work?
In this case, only two conditions are handled as we are learning. So that can also be handled. Of course, we have different format specifier as well in the Python for it. So now, as for the sake of learning, we are handling only two conditions. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So first, as of
And
now,
it is, sorry to interrupt, Tanushree, and it is a case insensitive, right? Right. If I give
yes,
a
yes, it is case insensitive. Yeah. So we can try out later if it, yes, I have tested it. I have tested that as well. It is case insensitive. Okay, so I'll suppose I think that Jan 2023 is the month that I'm giving input, right? So I will just go for it, and this is not, I cannot parse in this format because this is the short form. I can, yeah, sorry for the distraction. Okay. Jan 2023, I'll just say, suppose that my input is Jan 2023, right? So it cannot be, first I'll be trying to pass in this particular format. It won't be passed, so it will go to except block. But again, it won't throw an error because I have written pass, it has to continue the function. So again, my Jan 2023 will be compared with next input, a next format. So it will parse and it will be converted into date time object. So this is what we are doing it in this particular format. So it will be passed and it will be converted into date time object, and that object will be converted into string format. That is why we are using strf time, and we will return the string format because that is what we are going to use to query the database. So let's code it together. From date time import, because we are dealing with data in our function. So next one would be, we will be defining the function. Function name is convert month format. So we will be passing month string, whether it is Jan 2023 or January 2023. It can be of any month, but I'm taking Jan 2023 as an example. And input formats, we will define, we are handling different two formats, right? And okay, this should be enclosed in string. And we will also define output format. What we have to define output format. This is our output format. It should be year. It should be year and month. Yeah. So now we have to loop in. We have to check whether our input parses which kind of format. For input and input formats. Input format in input formats. I hope everyone's getting what I'm explaining. Please give me a thumbs up. Yeah. So let's have try block, right? Yeah, try block. So we are creating date time object for the past month. So this date strp time is used to convert the given input format or past input into date time object, because that object as a method to convert it to string. That's the reason we are converting strp time. Input format. Okay, string and input format. And we are converting it into string. Converted one. So we are converting it into string. So except block, I will create a value error. I'll just write pass, because even if it doesn't pass, one format doesn't pass, it has to, for loop has to pass for next format as well. Yes, I'm done. So let's execute it. So next tool is get financial data tool.
Hold on, Tanushree. So which date it should give error actually?
Which date it should give error? I didn't get your question.
You basically we can enter month and year, it still goes through, but then which one because I tried all the dates like 23/Jan/2023, still goes through. So is that correct?
Still goes wrong?
Yeah, it doesn't give me any error. So when it will give me value error, that is what I'm expecting.
Oh, did you try with, okay. Maybe try with this particular format. Jan, user may give mistake. User may do mistake in giving wrong month, right? So instead of January, they give Jana. So there are tendency to make mistake, right? So in that case, it will be error. That is why this format specifier we are doing.
Okay, well, because we are taking only month and year at the moment.
Yeah.
But if you give full date, it should still give the error, correct?
Okay, is it not giving?
No, it is not. That is what.
Oh, because there are, okay, maybe I'm not aware of it, because there are other format specifier which should take the whole month, sorry, whole
Yeah,
date.
so I thought it is taking only month and year, but when I gave full date, DDMMYY or DD
Oh, that's nice
it
then.
goes.
That's
It's going
nice
to.
then. Okay, maybe I'm not aware of this, that this would work for the entire data as well, because there are other specific format specifier as well for that as well. So yeah, thanks for letting me know.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So the next one would be get financial data tool. So once we get the data, date in specific format. So the next action what LLM should choose is to get the data from the database. So that is what we are going to define in this function. So what we are going to do is, so once we give an once we pass an input, so here you have to keep in mind that each action will be performed by LLM without any human intervention. So human may not go and explicitly call this particular function. LLM will only be calling this particular function. And also LLM is good at generating natural language, good at text generation. It may pass a string. So this particular, it knows that it has to perform this particular action, but here as an input, it may pass the string preceded with the required month format. So like this financial data for 2023. Okay, get me the data for this particular string. That is what it might pass. So it will pass, that is always the case. So yeah, that is the reason that we are handling that condition. So we are defining, or we are using regular expressions for it. So we have to, based on the input that we get in the input string, so we are creating a pattern, we are writing a pattern. So in the input string, I want to identify this particular format. So financial data for 2023-1 is, this pattern says there should be 4 digits -2 digits. So I need to extract this particular format from the given string input. I hope everyone is clear with this step, why we are using regular expressions and everything. Yeah, thanks. Then what we are going to do is we are going to search that particular string in this particular, search that particular format in this particular string. And then what it does is, once it matches or once it searches, it will return an object. It will have a match object. That object, after extracting the month or year month format, it will have additional information such as from where, which index to which index this particular particular format is found in the string. So we don't want all those extra information. We just want it to extract the month. So what we do is, so that object will be stored in match variable. So in that, using this group method, we are going to extract that substring of that particular format or particular input. So that is how we are going to extract, and we are going to send it for the query. I hope everyone's clear with it. In this step, what we are going to do. I just got only few thumbs up, so if you can give me confirmation on your understanding, I can move it. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, let's see the code, what we are doing here is. So first one would be, of course, you have to handle this, everything should be enclosed with try and except block. First, we have to make a connection to the database, because this particular get underscore financial underscore data, this function definition is getting the data from the database. That is why we have to make a connection to that database. So that is the reason we are making a connection. So SQLite3.connect, because the database that we've used is SQLite3, and our database name is financial underscore data.db. And then we are creating a cursor. Once this connection is made, we are creating a cursor. Why do we need cursor? Because if it is a database, we are going to perform several operations such as select operations or any SQL operations that we are going to perform. We need cursor. Using that cursor only, we will be executing many SQL statements. So I hope everyone's good with this connection and cursor part. So the next one would be month pattern. So as I said, we have to define a we have to assign a month pattern, and then we are going to search that month pattern in the string that is passed by the LLM. And then if that particular match is found, then we are going to extract the substring of that particular object that we got. Else we will say that we have to handle this condition as well, because we are dealing with the LLMs. So, and if it is not found, we have to just tell that unable to extract the month from this particular input. So we are just returning the none. So once if the match is found, right? So our input data, our in month would be this 2023-1. So consider that we are passing 2023-1. So then using this cursor, we are executing our select command, because this is how we get the data from the database. We are using select command from this table name called financial statements. This is how this is the name of our database that we have, where month is what is the month that we have extracted from the given string. And then we will fetch all the data, like cursor dot fetch one. This will gather one row of data which matches that particular select statement. So you remember we had established a connection to the database. So we are going to close the connection. So assuming that we got a data from the database. Okay. So 1 second. Let me see. So all the data for this particular month will be selected in this particular definition, and it will be stored in data, and that data we are going to return it. Okay, then we have to handle the exceptions as well. If we face any SQLite 3 error exception, or if we face any other exception, we have to handle that, and in that case we just want to return none. So I hope everyone's clear with this particular action, why we are doing it, how we are doing it, and everything. Okay, so good enough. So let's code it together. I'll just toggle it. So we have to import few things, regular expressions, since we are dealing with regular expressions as well. Get financial data. And then we are going to take month input. As I said, it may be string because it was sent by LLM. Not sent, called by LLM. So yeah. So let's establish the connection. Con SQLite 3 dot connect, and we are going to say our financial database name, and then we'll create a cursor. Con dot cursor. So now we have to mention, we have to define a month pattern. month pattern. So it would be, let's see the pattern. Now we have to create a search pattern. So we have to search. So what we are going to do is match is equal to search, what we have to search and in what we have to search. So we have to define month pattern. We have to search this month pattern in the month input. And then if match is found, we have to group it. We have to extract. Group. Yeah. Else we have to handle that condition. I'll just print off like unable to find that match. And now we have to, now we got the proper month. Now we'll make a select statement. Query to the database. Select star, select everything from financial statements where month. Down. Financial statements. Where month. Okay, it's not month. It's a small month. This will act, this question mark will be acting like a placeholder. That's all. Okay, so we have executed this particular statement and then we are going to capture that particular row data. Data is equal to cursor.fetch1. Return the, okay, we have to close the connection as well. Once we close the connections to the database, we'll return it. Second. Okay, let's see. I'll handle this exception, return the data. Okay, now we have defined this particular tool. Let's execute it. From the next step onwards, I'll be just, in the interest of time, I'll be just copy pasting the code. So don't worry, I'll give explanation to each and every line, why we have used, how we have used with example. So yeah, I hope we are clear with two tools that we have defined so far. Please give me a thumbs up.
Hi, quick question. In that month, you had done a group. This was month equal to match.group.
Yeah.
What is that doing?
Okay, wait. Okay, let me show you the flowchart. Okay, so what we get here is once it searches the pattern, it will give the pattern, but with that pattern, it will give this is nothing but the object. With month, as in addition to the month, it will be giving extra information as well, and this is an object, but we want it to convert it into string, so that we are going to we are converting that particular month of match object into string, so that we can extract only necessary details that we have to send to the model. In this case, the necessary details would be this month format. I hope I'm clear. Year and month format.
It is a standardization that it is doing in that group.
Yeah.
Whatever format you send, it will be in the format that database will accept.
It will first, yes. It will basically convert into string. This is an object. So
Okay.
you can see this, I've written the output as well. So when it searches, right, it will be giving the output in this particular format. So we don't need this. We cannot send this to the database, right? So we just need to send this particular month or particular year and month. So that is the reason we are going to do the group, and then we are going to send the substring of it. I hope you are clear.
Yeah, and for this input, we have to give the data in this format only. YYY dash mm. That is the only acceptable format.
Because I have built an application in that way. If you want to explore, you can do that. It's not that you have to do it in that particular thing. Since my
this
functions are dependent on this, right? So I've given it that way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the third tool would be
Every service company is going to start building agents left, right, center now.
Giri. If you could mute yourself, yeah. Thanks. Okay. The next step would be analyzing the financial data tool. Okay, what we are going to do here is, as I said, once it gets the data from the model, from the database, it will again, the next action it chooses to do is, I want to give the output in this particular format to the user. So again, this happens without any human interference or interruption. So what we are going to do is, in this particular function, we'll just take the data that is sent, that is gathered by that particular model, and then model will choose this action, and it will give certain input to that particular tool, and then it will give the answer in this particular format. You can see this basic analysis, right? It will give. See, once you get the data from the database, you'll just get the numbers. So we have to, for user to understand what kind of expense and is happened in what kind of, like, what company area, we have to format it in such a way that it is understandable to the user to read. So this is what it does, this particular thing. So first one, when we call the function, right, when LLM agent choose to call the function, choose to call this function, the input would be, again, it might be preceded with a string. It can be sent as string. So basically, imagine now that a user got the data, LLM got the data from this particular. 1 second. Okay, sorry for the distraction. Okay, so in this particular function, as LLM will be choosing to call this particular function, the input also, it will be chosen by the LLM. So it might choose the string format that it gets from the model. So that is the reason we cannot, because we are just dealing with the numbers here. We just don't want to consider the financial data dot colon and the company data. We just are interested in the numbers here. But since LLM is calling the function, it might generate some text along with the numbers. So we have to filter it out. And then we have to convert it into a tuple format. So that is what we are going to do, because once we get the response from the once we get the response from the database, not response, once we query and we get the data from the database, it will be in the tuple format. So it will go to the LLM, and again, okay, now it analyzes. Now I got the data in the tuple format. Now I just want to analyze this function and send it to the user. So what it does is it will give an input as financial data plus the numbers that it got from the database. But now we are not interested in the string or anything. We are just interested in the numbers because we are formatting it. So imagine this is the input that is given from the model, financial data, colon, and these are the numbers. So if it is a string, so what we're going to do here is we'll just split that particular string with delimiter as colon. So what it does is we can't just split the string like anything. We just want to mention where the string should be split. So that is what I am talking about, financial data, colon, and the numbers. So I'm taking colon as a delimiter, and then it will be, yeah, it will be split, and it will now the result of the split would be financial data and the number, and which will be enclosed in a list. Financial data and the numbers are two different elements in the list, and we are going to, as we are interested only in the numbers, and the numbers is in the last index, so we are going to access this particular number. That is what I have highlighted here. If it is tuple, sometimes, okay, LLM we cannot predict, right? It can also just send the tuple. So we'll just take the data as it is, and then we'll be formatting this way. I hope everyone's clear on what this particular function tool does. If you want me to repeat again or anything, please give me a thumbs up if you're clear with what this particular function does. Or if you want me to repeat again, please unmute yourself and let me know. Yeah.
Can you please repeat?
Okay, fine. So once LLM finishes performing that particular actions, right, then it will choose to perform this financial data, because user has asked what are the financial data for this particular month and particular year. So now once user asks, it will first convert that particular query. From that, it will extract that month, and the next, once it get the month in required format, it will gather the data from the database, and next it has to present that output in a specific format so that it can be understandable by the user. So this is what this particular tool does. It will take a input. This particular function will be taking an input, and this input is given as this function will be called by the LLM, right? We cannot expect it to send just the numbers or just the string. It can send it however you want. So in the worst case, it would send with string as well. So it will say that, okay, this is the input I'm sending, financial data and the numbers. For more clear understanding, probably it will be sending like this. So now we are just interested in numbers, because I just want to display the numbers in this particular format. I am splitting this, if it is a string, if input is a string, imagine the data is financial data and this particular numbers. I am going to split this particular string into two. Not into two, wherever there is a delimiter. I hope you know the importance of the delimiter while splitting. So it will, you cannot split anywhere and everywhere you want. You need to specify the delimiter from where that string should be split. So here I have mentioned delimiter as colon. So my entire string will be divided into two, and it will sit as two different elements in the list. And next, and it will be financial data as well as the numbers. As I'm interested only in the numbers, I will be choosing the last index. If it's a tuple, it's just take the data and then it will be formatting. So for if it is string, I have to perform extra additional processing. I hope you got a context. Hello, was it clear?
Clear, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. So I'll come to code. So this is the data can be string or tuple. If data is present, I have to check is instance method is used to check whether the data type is string or the data structure is tuple. So first it will check the string. If it is a string, it will be splitting the data in string into two with this as a delimiter, and the last index would be selected. And we will be converting that into tuple format, and that is done by eval method. Okay, and then the next condition that we are going to check is if it's a tuple, we don't tuple or a list, we don't have to perform extra processing. We'll just store the data as it is. Else anything other than that, we are just printing the invalid data format. We'll just returning it. So as we have 7 columns, so we are just taking extra checking. We are doing here is we are just checking whether the length is 7. So then we are going to convert this particular. We are going to assign this data tuple, the number what we got, into this particular format. I mean into this particular variables: month, revenue, profit, and the order should be proper with respect to the numbers. What number should be allocated to what variable? It should be thought before defining. And then basic analysis, we are just formatting the string in this way so that when user reads it, they will be reading this particular format or data in this particular format, and where it is also in tuple, we'll just return the basic analysis, or else we are just capturing the error here. I hope this function is clear. So I'll just copy paste the code, just double click on it, and don't copy Python and everything, just double click on this. I'll be trying out. I hope this tool is clear. Is it? I hope you're getting context on what actions are, what it does, what tools are, and everything. Yeah, got it. So now that we have defined all the 3 tools that I've mentioned, we're just creating think of it as a toolkit. So we are just putting all the tools in one basket. That is what. So this tool will be converted, this also comes with LangChain agent. This is another library that we have to use to define tools. So we are just giving the information, what tools that are there and everything. For first one would be name. This is our, you can give any name that you want. So I'm just giving get financial data. And for this name, what function it has to perform. So get underscore financial data. This should be proper. This should be same as the function name that you are given. And description, you have to, this will tell the LLM to use and in what circumstance this particular tool must be used. So that is what it is happening here. It comes with tool name, function, description, and what it will give some additional context to the LLM saying that in what circumstance you have to use this particular tool. So likewise, we are defining all the tools: name, function, description, name, function, and it can be of any order. So this order doesn't matter. So I'll just copy paste it. I hope everyone got this particular step. Did you guys get it? Yeah. I'll just copy paste it and then I'll put it. I'll execute this particular thing. Oh, yeah. Now we have done with the tools. Now we have to create an agent. To be precise, we'll be creating React agent. So for that, first we have to define prompt template. So as I said, right, how LLM will be knowing what kind of action it has to perform. It has to get some instruction, right, in what order it has to perform. So all of this will be performed, all of this will be put in this particular prompt template. So as usual, when you guys make a query to a LLM, right, so you'll just put single line prompt and then get an answer. But this is not the case here. You have to be precise on what you want LLM agent to do. So that is the reason we have put the prompt in such a way. And for this React agent, this is the prompt template that we have to follow. So you can get the prompt templates online as well. So I'll just select all and uncomment this particular thing. I'll just go what we have in the prompt. So first, I'm setting a persona. You're a financial assistant for the company. Your task is to provide the instructions. Provide information about the company's expenses for each month, right? And then I'm setting a persona. I'm setting the context, what LLM should act as. And next, I am giving the instructions. First, answer the following questions as best as you can. You have access to the following tools. I'm telling that yes, you have an access to all of these tools. So we have get financial data, analyze financial data, and convert a month format and its description. And here it is not a function name, it is the tool name that we have given in that toolkit where we have passed. And this is the instruction that we are going to give in the prompt. And also this tools, all these tools, this variables which are enclosed in the braces, this will act as a placeholder. So you'll get to know later why we are giving here. So financial assistant.
Tanushree, how do you uncomment the entire block in one go?
Just select all, and in keyboard press Control and / together.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. And then I have to tell the steps what it has to do. First, I'll just make a note, like if you fail to retrieve any financial data for any month, proceed to the next one. First step it has to perform is convert the input month in this particular format if necessary by asking this particular tool. Remember, you have to give tool name here, not the functions. I think it is quite confusing because I'm using tool name and function name as same, but you have to give tool name in the prompt. Okay, so the next one would be use get financial data tool to retrieve financial data for each month. The input should be in the tuple format. I'm mentioning like I need this in particular format, and then I'll analyze the financial data. And then I want to LLM to use this particular format. First, it has to think of it has to get the question, and then it has to think on what action it has to perform. What action it has to perform based on the tool names that are given, that will be passed here. So all of this placeholder will be dynamically allocated once this particular prompt is in use. And then the input to the action, and it should make an observation. This is the some format that it has to follow, because that is how agent works, right? Because since it will be dealing with multiple tools at one go, this is the you're just explicitly mentioning the LLM that it has to think in this particular way. And then since I'm also building a chatbot, it is very important for it to have a chat history, and then input and the assistant agent scratchpad. This is nothing but what will happen, right? When you make a query, so all of the details will be shown, like I'm thinking this particular thing and I'm taking this particular action. Next action is I have to take this particular action. So all of the steps will be stored in this agent underscore scratchpad. That is the reason we have used here. And all of it will be dynamically allocated when this prompt is in use, and we will see how it will be. I hope the understanding of the prompt template is clear. Is it clear? Give me a thumbs up or
Explaining
anything.
is clear, but we got disconnected, now not reachable, so not sure we'll be able to continue the lab.
Okay, support team will be looking into it. That. Okay.
Support team is actually looking to it, Mahendra.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll just execute this code. So if you can copy paste here, you can do it here. I'm just going to ignore this particular cell.
Tanushree, can you please call up once?
Yeah.
So we are having these tools and these things dynamically, right? Like I'm not sure like how it will behave actually. Like so we are giving some. Can you please come again on this one, please?
Yeah, how it will be dynamically allocated, I will explain in further step. First, in this step, you just have to understand what what we have in our prompt, what we have defined in the prompt. So, is that understanding clear?
Yes.
Yeah. So we will see that in a later steps. That is also there.
Okay. Thanks.
Actually, one quick question in the prompt. You have terms like steps and others, right? With written in that XML, HTML style. So those are actually keywords for the LLM to understand that they need to follow that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you mention in this particular format, it will be able to differentiate properly. Okay, these are the steps. These are the instructions. And instructions are enclosed in this particular tag. So it will be easy for it to understand as well. That is why we have done it in such a way.
Okay.
This is also one of the prompting techniques. Yeah. Okay. So the next step would be we have to initialize a conversational memory for LangChain agent. As I said, we are going to have a memory as well because we are going to store our chat history. If you are dealing with chat bot, it is very necessary for it to maintain the history of previous conversation as well. So for that, we have LangChain. So that is the reason we use LangChain for that. So from langchain.chains.conversation.memory, we are importing this particular component from LangChain. Inside that component, we are going to define three things. One is memory key. So it will act as a key name or a, so there is a place where all our chat history will be saved. That particular thing should have a name. That particular variable, it is not a variable, it is a list that should be having a name. So this chat history will be having, wherever that this chat history will be storing, it will be in the list, and that list should have a name, right? So I am giving that name as chat history. So all of this you'll see in the output in the further steps. And then k is equal to 5. These 5 is nothing but it cannot keep all the conversation memory. So at a go, it has to keep the recent 5 conversation. While you make a conversation, it will be having recent 5 conversations that we have made with the model. We have made with the agent. So we are specifying the number of messages it should keep as a context, or number of history should be stored in this particular memory. So as of now, we are defining it as 5. And next would be return messages. So there would be content as well. So if we don't do it right, so what will happen here is we are just going to get the answer. We are just going to see the prompt content, not content, the output from the model. But for us to understand what is there in history, right? So I need to know what is the question that I asked, for what question I got an answer to. So all of this should be shown to us. So if this particular thing is false, only the answer will be stored. Only the answer will be shown to us. But if it is set to true, for what particular question I am getting this particular answer. Question and answer both will be shown. I hope you got this context why we are defining conversational memory and its inside variables. Okay, so I'll just copy paste it.
Tanushree, I have one question.
Yeah.
So if I want to get all the conversations, so in that case, how can I do this?
Maybe I have not tried that, but if we can ignore that k value, maybe we'll be able to get it. I have followed the proper whatever that they have suggested as of now. Maybe if we remove or ignore that k value, probably we will be get it, but I'm not sure we will be able to get all the conversation because there should be a limit for that particular memory, right? It will run out of the memory as well. So yeah.
So how can I justify what is the size of the memory and by how long we can get the conversation?
Probably it will be given in the documentation. If you go through that Langchain documentation, we'll be getting more information on that as well.
Okay, sure. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I'll just copy paste it. Okay. So now we are in step 9 where we are just this is where we create our instantiate our React agent. So what we're doing here is we are importing the agents and agent executor and whatever the prompt that we have given, right? We are converting it, we are just making it as a proper prompt template, right? So from Langchain agent, we are importing agent executor, and this component is used to execute the agents and then create a React agent. This is how using this we will be creating a React agent, and we are going to give prompt. We are importing prompt template as well. And next, this whatever prompt that we have defined, right? The template we had defined in above, the earlier steps, we're just passing it here, updated prompt. And also we are going to give input variables. These are the variables that we are going to use, right? That we had defined, right? In that particular prompt. In the braces, as I said, it will be dynamically, when the prompt is in use, it will be properly assigned to that particular variables. So we have to pass this variable names. Chat history input is nothing but the question or the, it's not a question. Every time what model will be giving, right? When it is sending the response, when it is calling a function or a tool, it will be sending some input, right? That input and agent scratchpad is nothing but the whatever the model thinking it is there, like it whatever the thinking it does, whatever the action it performs, or whatever the observation that it makes, all of it will be stored here. And then tools which we had defined above, and also tool names. And then we'll create an agent. So using this particular function, we are going to create an agent. This is also from LangChain. Inside that, we will be passing our LLM object, which we had defined earlier, what LLM that we have to use and what tools that it has to use, and also the prompt template. So is this clear?
Tanushree, this input variables can be anything, right? It should not mean this is not any keyword, right? Chat history input or anything like that. I can keep anything, give anything.
Yeah. You can do it, but make sure to change in the template as well.
Yes. The template.
Yeah. So I'll just copy paste this, and then I'll paste it here. Okay. Now we have created the agent, but we have to execute the agent as well, right? So we are going to, that is the reason we had imported agent executor. This is one such class from Langchain where we can use to execute an agent. So agent executor is the variable name that I had defined, and now object name. And inside that, we are going to pass what agent that we have used, and what are the tools that we have created. And verbose is equal to true is nothing but when we execute this agent, right? So we'll not be able to see the direct output. Like if you want, we can do it if this particular verbose is set to false. If it is set to true, we'll be able to see what LLM thinks in each steps, what action it performs, what action it takes. So all of these things will be we will be able to see it. That's the reason I want to say it, and I want you guys to make understand how it works and everything. So that's the reason I have set it to true, and we'll be seeing the entire thinking capability of our agent, and handle passing errors and also true. Because this, what happens is, whenever, suppose the input that is sent from the model might not be in the required format, or we might not have handled in our particular function. So what it does is, if it is set to false, or if this particular thing is not used, agent will be repetitively executing itself. It will create an action, it will choose an action, it will make an observation, it will give an output. Even if it is wrong output, it will just go on doing it, and also it will be throwing us an exception. But I don't want it to throw it an exception, I just want it to handle the error. So what it does is, if this particular thing is set to true, it will be um, executing only required number of times. It won't be executing on loop. It will be executing on required number of times. And then if any error has passed, instead of if any error has occurred, instead of throwing an exception, it will be handled gracefully, and it will give us answer like, I'm not able to find this particular answer, or it will give answer like, agent runtime limit is exceeded. So these are some of the error handling it does. This is basically for handling the errors. I hope you got this particular functionalities. Please give me a thumbs up if you've got it, or if you want me to repeat it. Yeah, thank you so much. So I'm just going to copy paste it. Okay, now we have done everything. Now let's it's time to see the result from the model. So first we are going to see the we are going to pass input, human input, sorry, our input, and this is the chat history variable that we are going to use. So first is, what is the financial data of January 2023? I'm passing it as Jan 2023. And chat history, initially it will be empty because this is the first time we are conversing with the model. So first we have to load the memory variables. If there's anything in the memory, it will be loaded and it will be stored in chat history. Initially it will be empty because we have not made any conversation so far. And for output, we have to make an agent executor. We have to use that agent executor, and then we have to use an invoke method, and then we have to pass the input in such a in the dictionary format. Input and the key should be same, input, and for that it is a human input, and chat history is the chat history. So this is what we are going to assign, and then we are going to, once we get the model, we'll be getting the output, right? So I want to save that in a memory. So every time I make a conversation with a model, I want it to be saved in the memories for the future, or for the chat history. That's the reason I'm using save context. With question and answer, I'm saving it in the memory. Here what we are doing here, again I'm going to repeat. So we are just querying the model, and then we are just going to load the conversational memory. If anything is there in the conversation memory, it will be loaded and it will be stored in chat history. And then we will invoke this particular, to get an output we have to make a call to that particular agent, our agent. So I'm going to execute this agent, and then inside that I have to pass an input, and if it has any chat history also, I'll be passing this particular chat history because it will be giving answer within the context. And also I'm going to, we'll get an output, I'm going to save the input with the output, so in the memory. I hope this is clear.
Tanush, this is buffer memory, right?
Yeah.
Like the memory.
Yeah. Is this clear? Can I get some thumbs ups or anything? Yeah. So I'm going to copy paste it. The prompt. Okay. Let's see how it executes, how it thinks and everything. So you can see how it is performing and it is giving me the output. So if you want to print only the output, I'm just going to print your print agent output, and it will be an output key. So you can see the response that we got from the agent. I hope everyone's got this particular response from the agent.
Tanushree, what is it? Color highlight, one in yellow and another. Is there a meaning to it? Green and yellow?
Green is something like whatever the action that it perform, as of my observation, whatever that action that is going to perform and everything, it will be put in green, and also whatever the observation that it makes from the action, I think it will be, or the final answer that it says, the final answer, yeah, once it arrives to that final answer, it will be in yellow. So this is what the observation that I need. Even I don't have much information on it. I hope it's clear. Hello? Yeah.
I'm getting some error actually on this one.
What is the error? Can you send us the screenshot so that we can check it?
Sure.
My lab has stopped working anyway, so I can't do anything.
Okay, I'll just check the, go to that. Go.
Edit over chat.
Yeah, we're checking it. Go. Open that. Okay, can you try running all the cells again? Okay.
From top to down, we can see something, right? It will run one by one, right? Like
Yeah.
there is one top to down is there.
Yeah. Okay, let me refresh. I think I will have to redo it again.
There is one option you can click run all, so it will automatically run all the cells.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, but in tryout 11, I am getting error actually, the same error. Bedrock.py.
Just give me 2 minutes. I'll be back.
Just allow us a couple of minutes. Tanushree, just restart.
So please make sure to execute all the cells. So we are left with one exercise that we will be doing it together.
I ran all the things, but still I'm getting that error actually.
Did you copy paste the code from the given
Ah,
content?
yes. Yes, the
All
last one I copy pasted. Not
all
all
the
actually,
cells?
like
Okay.
not all the
Oh,
cells, like from fifth onwards, I believe. I copy
okay.
pasted fifth or sixth onwards.
Okay, copy paste from 1 to 4 as well. Maybe we might have done mistake in there
Oh,
as
okay,
well.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Just give me 2 more minutes. I'll be back. Sorry, I was speaking on mute. I hope most of you have executed and gotten the output from our agent, financial agent. So let's please give me a thumbs up so that we can go ahead and build this interactive chatbot together. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So first, what we are going to do here is we are going to run a loop. So here now in the previous step, we gave the input explicitly. So let's just make interactive, and then we will make user to give. We will only user to give input instead of giving input explicitly. We'll just type in our text box, and then we'll make a conversation with the model. We'll just see what we get from the model and everything. So first, we are going to create a list of conversations. And then I'm going to run a loop till I have a conversation to the model. Until I press exit or until I type exit, this loop should keep on running, and I should be able to maintain a conversation with the model. So that is what I'm going to do. So I'm asking for an human input. And then if the user press exit, I just want to break the loop and come out of the conversation. So this is the context. And make sure to convert the human input into lowercase and remove all leading and trailing spaces so that we have uniformity. If it's an exit.
That's what she's doing.
Okay. Great. And then I'm going to, as I said, as we had done in previous steps, we are going to load everything in our chat history variable. So conversation, memory, and load. So that is what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to execute our agent using agent executor. Input. So I'm going to, invoke, invoke. So I'm going to pass input as well as the chat history so that agent should have a context on what we are talking about in our conversation. Input and also chat history. Key is chat history. So all this variable will be loaded in the prompt template. See, you can see that we are using all of these variables that are mentioned in the prompt template, right? And our updated prompt variable, right? So all this variable will be loaded when the prompt is in use and it will be put in proper format. I hope everyone got to know why we used those things in our prompt. So please give me a thumbs up if you got the context on it. And then I'm going to append this conversation because we are going to print this conversation, and if you could send this conversation screenshot, so you'll be eligible to the rewards. And please note, we will be sending the questions in the chat box. Chat box, and you will please use that questions and make a conversation with a model, and then you have to send the screenshot of those questions, not the questions I am going to make in the model right now.
Can you come again, please, Tanushree?
So yeah, after we code this together, right? So we will be testing with few test queries. After doing testing, so I'll be sending the question, or my team will be sending those questions, which you have to make a query and then send a screenshot of those questions. So then you'll be eligible for our rewards. I hope you got it, right?
Yes, thanks.
Yeah.
What is the timeline to respond to those questions?
Oh, you can
Yes. It's a conversations, right? It's array. Okay.
Conversation, this is the list. Okay, somebody asked what is the timeline. So if you're with me together, you can just, once I test the query, you can also, it's just putting the questions and you can get the response, right? So,
yeah, but we lost the lab connection. We're waiting on that. That's why I'm asking.
Okay, then. So let's just share us the screenshot. We will look into it.
Okay.
And also, okay, sorry. So we have appended the conversations from the model. So the human input into the conversations list. And then I'm also appending my response. So this particular thing will have additional information other than the response, but I am interested only in the output part of this particular variable or particular response that you get from the model. So the proper response, right, irrespective of all its thinking capabilities and everything, intermediate steps, I'm not worrying about it. I'm just concentrating on the final answer that we get from the model, and that will be stored in our output key. Okay. Did you understand what I said? Why we are using output key and everything? Yeah. Okay, sorry. This should be okay. This should be. And also I'll be appending the response as well, so that you can easily differentiate the question and the respective answer. So I'm just making as F string, and this response will be shown as AI and this response. And now we'll be printing that AI response as well. I don't think, okay, let's. Okay. So now, as usual, we have to save our conversations in the memory as well. So whenever you send a request to the agent, it should also have a context on the previous conversation. Memory dot save context. It's same as what you have used, so I'll just copy paste from here. Okay, so now once everything is executed, right? Once you come out of the for loop, okay, let's see. I'll code it in different line so that you can also see all the conversations that are there or that are stored in that conversations list. You can see it in your, I'll write a code for it. Does that mean conversations?
दीदी कौन गया था फॉरेस्ट में कुंती माँ
Print line. Okay, so I'm going to execute this file. Okay, I got, and remember you will be getting the input box above the lab environment. So I'm going to make what is the marketing expense of for 2023 March 2023. So we can see the chain. So it is going to, so it converted the March. Okay, I got an error conversation. Okay, sorry. Which line? Okay, while appending the input out, I have. Okay. So again, I'll make a same query. So I'll make a different query. What are operational expense? Remember, we have not written code to extract specific data from the database, right? We have written the code for entire expense or entire financial information. But even if I make specific information, like explicitly asked about operational expenses or R&D expenses, model will be able to analyze and it will be able to give the answer. So that's where agent comes into picture, so that you don't have to write everything. Okay, I'll just tell that I need the operation expenses. Let's see what month it will take. It took January. Okay. 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 I'll just say I need it for March. Maybe it will be able to give the financial data or anything. Yeah. I didn't specify the entire question that I need financial data for March or anything. I just said I need it for March because it knows that we are making a query on that. So I'll just exit. I'm going to see the conversations here once you put the line. See, human, we made an this particular response, question, and AI was able to give this. Our agent was able to give this, and I made another query, and AI was able to give it. I had made 2 test queries, so I was able to get this response. So my team will be putting the queries that you have to test and send the screenshot for. So yeah, I think just give us a couple of minutes. Yeah. Yeah. So you can make a query on the questions that are sent in the chat box and then send us a screenshot of this particular conversations. I hope everyone understood the agent creation and everything, whatever that I have explained so far. So please give a thumbs up or anything so that I can.
Tanushree, can you please scroll up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, I just had a question. The access to the lab that we have got today, so
Yeah.
will it be just for today or we'll have that
You will have an access to the lab for next 2 hours.
next
That's right.
4 hours? That's it.
1 hour, sorry. Next 1 hour.
Oh, next 1 hour. Okay. Yeah, because like I think many people were there whose lab access was not there all time and it started late. So is it something
Yeah.
possible that
Yeah, Shruti. 1 minute. Tanushree, can you mute? Sorry. Yes, Shruti. Yeah, for the lab would be on for the next 1 hour. I'm sorry, 1 minute. Yeah, the lab would be on for the next 1 hour. And other than that, if you require the recording of the call, then we'll anyway be sharing it on the YouTube. And if you require to have another demo or need to access it again, I would suggest, Shruti, that you route this through your organization and write down to us. My email ID would be here in the chat. Just write down to us so that we can give you a test ID, or if you want like a demo, we can do that as well.
Okay, sure.
Any other queries? I'd suggest everybody to put in the outputs in the chat.
Shri, would you be able to show again how to like have the conversation and ask the questions and get the response?
I'm sorry, Harshita, I couldn't get your question.
Could you show again how to like ask the questions and get the response?
Oh, sure. Tanushree? Okay.
Tanushree, I think you are in mute.
Okay, sorry. Okay, when you execute this particular cell, right, the exercise cell, you will get a text box about the lab environment. So on the top side of the lab environment, then you can put your query like what is the financial data for Jan or anything, any month that you want, and just click enter, and you'll be able to see the chain here. And once this particular chain is completed, and again, until you press or until you type exit this conversation, you can make a conversation with a model. I hope you got the point. Are you
so like once I paste the question,
even
will
after
I
I
get
type
the
exit, the code seems to be
exit?
running.
You have to type exit.
Yeah, I did that. So it's saying it again said entering new executor chain, and then thank you for the conversation. Have a nice day. But on the top, there is a blue line going across, so it looks like the thing is still running. And I still see the prompt window also. That
I think you have. Oh, okay. I think you might have made a mistake in that particular condition where it has to handle this particular thing. Like if you press exit, it should break. Have you included the break statement here?
I have, yes.
Okay, I think maybe recheck the code once.
Yeah, I'll recheck. Yeah, thanks.
Can you paste the questions again? You're asking.
Nominees.
Tanushree, is there any way to download this file?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question, please?
Is there any option to download this complete .py file?
Is there any option that we can download the .py file? I mean, that notebook file.
Yes.
You can send it to them.
Yeah, we can send the files to your mail. You can just ping us or mail us, and we will surely reply with the files.
Hi, Shivpriya this side. My email ID is actually already added in the chat. If you need the files, it would be great if you can just email it to us and we'll take it from there.
Okay.
Yes, any more responses? Please do share your outputs in the chat.
Tanushree, you need the answer to a specific question, or we can try anything and share.
If you could share us answers with that specific question so that it's very easy for us to opt for rewards. So yeah.
The one you have shared, right? That operation expense marketing. That's right.
All right. Any more outputs, completion, please do drop in the screenshots. Let us know if you have any questions.
Can we drop the combination?
I'm sorry, what do you want?
Can we drop a screenshot
Rahul, your voice is actually not audible.
Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for response, based in the chat, can we paste the conversation that we have done using the AI, the one that process, or the
Yeah. Yeah, you
agent
can do
actually
that.
change?
Yes, that's fine. That's fine. You can do that.
And Tanushree, like, question for you.
Yes.
Yeah, Tanushree, like in this lab, right? So we done on top of React, right? So could you like give me where we are using that like React and how it is giving us the output? Because like anyhow, it's a different tool like and different agents like which we created and then we are using, right? So how the React prompting helpful for us in this lab?
React prompting is helpful for this lab? Like, I didn't quite get your questions.
No, I think like this is on top of React, right? Last lab it was on top of RAG, and this is on top of React, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and how it is like.
Last session, what we used was retrieval augmented generation. We just extracted the
Yes.
information from the models, did some similarity search, and then we sent such we augmented that search in the prompt, and then we sent to the model. But we used to get the output, but it did not perform additional tasks. It lacks few of the capabilities. For example, if you want to book a ticket, if you are asking an agent, if you want us to book a ticket, can you please book me a ticket? Can you please move? Okay. 1 second, 1 second.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. For example, if you're asking a model to book a ticket, could you please book me a ticket from Bangalore to Delhi for next week? So what drag does is it just give you the details like flight details for your use for your query, but you're asking it to assist for you to booking. So that is where agents come into picture. So all that output will be sent to that agent to perform or to give additional assistant. It will ask us, it will act as a chatbot if you need any additional assistance and everything. It will be based on the actions that you define in the background, right? So that is what we have defined, such some actions. Same like that, you also can define your custom action on what that particular thing has to perform, or if what it has to perform, what LLM has to perform based on the actions that your query that or the response that it is retrieved from the database. It will be able to do it, and finally it will be able to assist in booking. So this actions, that is where agents come into picture.
Okay, got it. That means like in these sessions we were use human and then AI. So is it it is called as a like reasoning and acting, right?
React means reasoning and action. So
Action,
if you
yes.
can you can see that, right? Every conversation that you make with a model, it will, you can see that green, yellow and everything. It will think what tool it has to take, or what action it has to perform, and it will get some output, and then it will think on next tool what I have to answer. So this thing will go on until you get the response from the order, until it decides to give the final answer.
Okay.
That is the
Got
reason, reasoning and action.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi Tanushree. For me, the lab got disconnected. Can we share it in some time?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Tanushree?
Yeah. Yes.
When I entered the input, the question, I got invalid format, missing action after thought. Does that mean my last one is wrong or anything about
Maybe in the action, that particular action perform.
I lost you. I think you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. So what can I know? May I know what is the question that you prompted to the model?
The first question that we were asked to, what is your operation expense of Jan 2023, something like that.
Okay. It is saying that invalid action. Can you try executing all the cells again? Maybe you might,
like,
and copy paste the code from the given content. Maybe you might have not returned the, when model calls an action or model takes an action, right? Get financial data. In that particular action, you might not have returned that particular data, or model may not be getting the required data from that particular function. So that might also be the case. Try copy pasting the code from the content and rerun the cells, so you'll be able to get it.
Okay, yeah, because like the previous step, right, I got the output, but this one I didn't get. That's why I will copy paste again and check it.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Tanushri, for all your expertise. And thank you everyone for joining in into the workshop. You will receive the YouTube link very soon, and we'll soon share a feedback form also with you, which you can kind of answer. And do let us know what more topics you'd be wanting to get from us.
Thank you
Going
everyone.
on, Giri.
Thank you for making this an interactive session. Hope this session was informative enough. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
you,
you. And if you
everyone.
have any questions, please do write down to us. My email ID is mentioned in the chat. Please do email us and we'll be able to get back to you on the queries. If you want a similar sort of hands-on demo, please do write back to us and we'll be able to provide it to you and your team as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Hi, hello.
Yes, Sakul.
Yeah, hi, this is Kumar. Actually, I have run the code and I have keep like that conversational screenshots, but suddenly I got disconnected from the lab.
Yeah, please
Even
share your mail ID.
yeah,
Support will
like
look into it.
okay, okay.